So, where do you draw the line between foolishness and adventure? Without a doubt, it's a very interesting question, and I'm finding not a whole lot of people are asking it, because if you look on YouTube, there's really not a whole lot of information on this. Now, it's going to vary from opinion to opinion, person to person, ability to ability, and the amount of training each individual has had in their life. I'm finding, though, that you can narrow it down due to writing it down and doing some research. So I'm hoping you'll find this video encouraging, and if you're like me that sometimes questions the activities you do and almost feels guilty, like you're being foolish, hopefully that puts those feelings out the window, and by the end of this video you'll be more confident in what you're doing. Or if not, maybe you'll discover that you're the foolish person. So, drawing the line between foolishness and adventure, is it skydiving? Is it rock climbing? Base jumping, ice climbing, surfing? This was the question I was asking at first, and it ended up being the wrong question, but it took the wrong question to eventually lead up to and find the right question. At first I was thinking more along the lines of, like a typical grandma talking to her grandson, like, "Hey Sonny, so this ice climbing you're doing, I don't like that. You see, I once heard on the news a couple years ago that this guy was ice climbing and ice fell off and crushed him to bits. So if you want to die and leave your grandma and grandpappy behind, go on and keep doing what you're doing." So just like that, she's shut down and pretty much just said ice climbing is dangerous. And that was more along the lines of how I was thinking at first, but now I'm finding it's not necessarily the activity you're doing, but more the person and the mindset behind. I wanted to find something super simple, a simple formula. Don't do this because it's past the line. But it turns out it's not that simple. It varies person to person. So for 1 year, I took a wilderness and leadership college course, and one of the things they taught me was a system, risk versus reward. And a couple of the things that are going to dictate that is going to be things like your natural abilities at first, how you think, and physically where you're at, and how's your coordination. But then go beyond that, how much have you practiced this activity or similar activities? What type of training have you done? What is your understanding? If it goes wrong, will you be able to correct that and be able to do it in a proper amount of time? And things like muscle memorization. Can you do it even under stress and know that you can count on that your body will do it even when you're not thinking? Like in the episode I filmed of Shark Mountain, I was climbing the mountain on a scramble, and I ended up getting so nervous that I ended up calling it and deciding, okay, this is where I'm going to stop for today, due to I knew I hit my limit, and if I made a mistake, I wouldn't be able to recover from it. So I decided that is where I'm going to stop for today. Are you with knowledgeable instructors that have done this literally a million times and know this subject inside and out? These are just a couple different factors of what's going to determine the risk side of what the activity you're doing. But now let's flip over to the reward side, and just like the risk side, it's quite limitless. There's so many amazing rewards you get from doing the activity, such as joy and feeling alive and personal gain, inspiring others. It goes on, and there's an amazing quote by David Solon Wilson, and he says, "Life is more meaningful in a life and death situation." And I find that to be quite true. And when you're in a situation that actually counts, it is so much more enjoyable, and I believe that's a big part of why we like doing these extreme sports and activities. Now, when I look back at my life, and especially the last couple of years, I'm finding that I've been on both sides of the tracks, where I've been definitely more on the foolish side, and then there's other times where I've been way too much on the cautious side. But now that I'm getting older, I'm finding I'm gaining more experience in extreme sports and extreme activities, and I'm starting to dial it in to where before I would be way left or way right, and now I'm starting to be more consistently down this center. And that I'm finding that comes with surrounding yourself with amazing instructors and amazing people with a level head and a clear mind. And in an environment like that, you can push yourself really, really hard and have the people that have the knowledge to be able to guide you and point you in the right direction safely. So on that note, before when we said that ice climbing is dangerous, now with the right instructor, the risk can be very much minimalized, and it can be a very exciting and rewarding sport and activity. And as you get better and your abilities get better and you gain more knowledge in the sport, you'll be doing things that at the beginning would definitely be considered to be on the foolish side if you would have started right at that point. But your line of risk versus reward is going to move up as you get better and gain those skills, and you'll look at the pros. And for us, it's absolutely foolish to be climbing several thousand feet in the air without a rope or a safety harness or something like that. But for them, they've done it so much that the risk versus reward for them is acceptable. And it is necessary for them to make it acceptable, because now they're at such a level that if they were at level 1, the reason for doing it, the reward side is no longer there. It's too easy. So now what is extremely risky to you is not like that to them anymore. It's just enough challenge to push them. And if you aim for that is where you're in your adventure mark. Now when you start being a fool and enter the foolish realm, to me, it's when you start doing things on a whim. It's the thing to do at the time, and you see this other guy climbing this huge rock or jumping off this bridge or whatever is happening, and you do it because you want to be the cool guy. You want to have a cool picture out of this, or you'll be the talk of this group and everyone's going to respect you because you did something they couldn't. That is what's going to end up getting you hurt or killed. And this isn't going to necessarily get you in trouble right off the bat, but over time you are literally a ticking time bomb, and eventually your card is going to get punched out. So make sure, and this is what I'm finding for myself, is enter your activity with the mind that wants to master the art of this activity. And with doing that, you are more likely to take the time to take the necessary steps to get the skills that you need to achieve greatness and do it safely and do exciting things. And you'll find by doing that, now you can do some really crazy stuff that there's no way you could have done that before, and now you're doing it safely and coming home alive. And in the end, that really is the goal, is to be able to do your activity safely, get a bit of a break on life and do something exciting that resets you, that you're able to go back to work and back to your family and be all the more better. Doing these things are absolute gifts, these extreme sports, and getting to live life to the fullest. And that's really what my channel is all about, is to try new things and push yourself. That's what the human body is designed to do, is to face challenging things, get the blood flowing, muscles working, and push yourself. And if you don't do that, and if you're just sitting on your couch all day, you're going to end up struggling with depression and getting sick. So push hard and stay healthy.